What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Kaylu,
And your boy ZB.
and we are back with another episode of Time Out. Let's Get Real. Hello, ZB.
Cheers. Hello to the one and only Kaylu.
Cheers. How you living? How you living? How you doing today?
Well, I have been better, but I'm not bad. I'm not bad. Just a little frustrated with things right now, but I'll digress. So, how have you been? How was your week? Give me the update. Give me the new tea.
Um, my week was good. I'm just living, living life. I am doing me. I'm being very much careless, just like but good careless, not bad careless.
Careless,
So,
huh? What
yeah,
what
like
is
what
what
is
is
what?
what does being careless get you?
Um,
What positivity
basically,
does that bring?
basically, I'm keeping all of my options open and I am no longer being blinded, So I'm just here. I'm just here living life, loving it here. I'm not, what's the word you want to say? I'm not blocking any of my blessings. So any blessing and or anything that comes to me that I feel like could potentially be a blessing, I'm taking it up and I'm
You know,
dealing with it.
So first off, what were you blinded by? And secondly, um, you're not blocking any of your blessings by being careless. You know what that reminds me of? That
Oh
reminds me of the
God,
girl
what?
saying, "I'm just doing me right now. Like I'm selfish. I'm being selfish for myself. I'm just doing me." That's what that just made me think of.
Yeah, I am. I'm being selfish. And I deserve to be selfish because for so long I've been selfless. And I don't want to be selfless anymore. And I'm
Okay,
just kind of
okay.
like I'm kind of on this wave of like I don't really care, So like I'm just I'm matching energy. That's the best way to put it. Is I am 110% matching energy.
Okay.
And we love it here.
I was just about to ask, well, what are you doing different that's careless compared to what you were doing a couple weeks ago or whatever, whenever it was?
Actually, nothing really different.
It's just the whole energy aspect, really. Like you're matching people's energy.
Yeah, like so basically I am matching energy, and so I tend to care more than others normally, and as of right now, I just don't really care, So I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. Like taking everything for what it actually is and not what I want it to be, not anyone's potential, like what it actually is. So therefore, I am shooting my shot. Do you feel me? And I'm not missing. Sink. I'm sinking them.
You're shooting your shot. Okay.
Yeah. So any
Well, I
blessing that I feel like could have potential, I'm like, yeah, let's get it, little baby. Let's figure it out.
so basically you're just like you're open to anything. You're seeing it through. It sounds
100%.
like you're basically talking about relationships, the energy that you're getting from the
Yeah.
potentials out here. Instead of trying
Yeah.
to see the potential in somebody and build them up, you're just seeing it for what it is.
Literally.
So basically, so okay, so if you see somebody, a dude, if you're talking to a dude who has potential but ain't quite all the way there yet, that's
Hmm.
a no go.
Who has potential that isn't all the way there yet?
Yeah, because you just said like you're seeing things for what it is, not for the potential.
Yeah, no, like so basically whatever you show me, whatever you bring to the table, whatever you put in front of my face, that's what I'm taking it as. I'm not taking it as like, oh, well, he's a really nice guy and he could be da 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 da. Nah, 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 nah. It is what it is. Whatever you show me is what I'm taking. So there is no like, oh, but like I think he has. Nah, it is what it is.
So basically, like if dude shows you he ain't shit, you gonna believe him the first time. It's not all these keep spinning the block,
110%.
give you another
Yeah,
chance after chance. I
yeah.
feel that. Running out of
But
patience.
I'm matching energy and it has people in shambles. People don't like when I do that because I'm a very loyal, solid person. And when I'm like switching up, like, wait, hold on, what are you doing? You not normally like this. No, I'm not, but I am now because guess what? Being a good person being that solid female, being that loyal person has never gotten me anywhere with particular individuals. So therefore, why would I continue to do so and waste my time? You feel me?
Have you ever tried counseling or therapy?
Actually, yes.
Cause you,
Have you?
cause you
Have
sound hurt.
you?
You
I'm
sound
not hurt
hurt.
at all.
Oh,
Don't do that. I'm
I'm,
literally not hurt at all. Trust me.
I'm definite,
If there's any point in my life where I'm not hurt, it is right now.
ma'am. You're talking
Truly.
kind of aggressively,
No, I'm not.
ma'am.
Because you're trying to say that I'm hurt. Ain't nobody hurt out here. He's trying to be
Okay,
funny. Don't let him be funny because he knows damn well I'm not hurt. He knows 110% I'm not hurt because he knows me better than anybody. He's trying
okay,
to trigger
cool.
me. He wants to argue.
Today I'm in that mood. Like I'm definitely pushing buttons. So, anyways, yeah, I'm definitely pro therapy, but I'm not currently talking to a therapist. No, but
You've
it's a good.
never gone to a therapist.
Oh, I have before, but it wasn't by choice. It wasn't by choice. The court made my ass go when I got my little OVI, and they said, "Oh, you need to do some counseling or therapy." Did
See?
some sessions. Felt great.
There you go.
It's when they was trying to decide whether I was a high risk or not. Are you going to repeat this offense,
Yes, he is going to.
sir? Unfortunately, based off the test results, you're high risk. Well, I could have told you that. This ain't
that
no
was
drink and drive no more.
that was that was back in the day. Just so you know, we do not condone that whatsoever. And he has grown, and that is not a situation that is happening anymore. That was like what, 2010,
Yeah, that was
13?
way back. Like 2012. Yeah,
Yeah,
way back in the day. My
10,
one
10 years
huge
ago.
mistake.
Yes.
But you
So
pay for that shit.
yeah, I
But yeah.
know. I thankfully, thank God, I don't know from firsthand experience. That's not something I ever want to go through.
Oh no.
I have Brenda, the Uber driver. My mom is my A1 since day one. She's always, since I was in high school, been like, if you're ever anywhere and you're drinking and you need a ride, call me. I'll never ask any questions. I'll never complain. I'll be on my way to get you. So my mom has
Literally, that's a beautiful thing.
often came and picked up me and my friends from nights out at the bar, partying at parties in high school. She's always saved us, literally.
Right. So I have been reading a book lately. You don't even know I've been reading the book, but
Okay.
The Five Love Languages.
Ooh,
I haven't
okay,
finished it,
okay.
but I'm like two or three chapters in. I picked it up and put it down for a while, but actually I got it at the Goodwill bookstore for like $3. I was like, let me get that because we be talking about it all the time.
Mhm.
But what do you think that your love languages are?
Okay, now for the people, just to clarify, I'm pretty sure there are 5 love languages. Now, I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to say these off top 100%. One is physical touch, one is words of affirmation, one is gifts, one is quality time,
And
and
acts of service.
acts of service.
Yep.
Now I think that you receive love and I think that you show love in 2 different ways.
Not always, but sure.
Not always, but I think um, that's a possibility, right?
Yeah.
So, how do I show love? I think I show love in every single love language. Um, but I think
You're
mostly is
you're perfect.
oh my god, stop. I'm not saying that. But I think mostly it's physical touch and I never realized how important that was to me until like a couple of weeks ago. Um and I realized like I'm not sure that I even know how to feel loved by someone without physical touch. Now, they can do everything like words of affirmation, acts of service, check on me, make sure that I'm okay, spend quality time with me, have deep conversations with me, do all of these things. But if they're not like touching me, for some reason, I don't feel like, I feel like I can't feel loved by them or something. I don't know. It's a weird problem that I have. So maybe that I need to work
I,
on.
I think I think what you pick literally how you show love and affection or whatever your love language is like very very importantly based on like how you were raised, how you grew up, how your first signs of love were showed to you like as a child.
Mhm.
So I think that probably has a lot to do and factors in, or like the traumas that you've dealt with factor into like how you give and receive love now.
Yes. I think I
Mine, go
hold
ahead.
on. I think I show love. So, okay, that's how I receive love is physical touch. I show love with physical touch, but also like words of affirmation, acts of service, quality times. Like when I say I do all five, I mean that quite literally. Like I shower people with I'm like the person that's like, "Good morning, have a good day. I hope your day at work is amazing. I'm proud of you. I just want to let you know that I see everything that you're doing." I do that with even my friends.
Right.
Because with my friends, I'm not physical touch. Like I don't touch my friends. I'm
Yeah.
not touchy.
Yeah. Because that'd be just like, man, like
Right.
a little too much.
Right. So like
There's
with
like
you,
levels, of course.
yeah, like so like with you, if you're like starting a new job or you got a promotion or you have a big meeting or something, I'm always like, "Oh, like I hope you have a good day today. Like good luck, da da da." Like that's just kind of how I do things. So I think I literally show love in all five love languages, and I'm not sure which one. I think I probably show love with physical touch more though. So that's why it's important for me to be with someone who receives love and shows love with physical touch. What is your like, how do you receive love and how do you give love, you think?
Well, I definitely like. I think all the five languages are definitely important for
Mhm,
sure. Like, so, like, I feel like I use them all. I receive them, and I receive love in all of the languages and give it partially in
mhm,
all of it. But like I'd say the most important as far as how I receive love is probably quality time and words of affirmation. It's a toss up because you like to hear those words of affirmation, the to feel appreciated, the text in the morning, the little random like notes and shit like that, just like letting you know how they were just first off that somebody was even thinking about you for a second when you weren't around, and then
mhm.
just those random moments of gratitude and appreciation. So probably words of affirmation
Yeah,
along with quality time, and then of course physical touch is important too. But I'm not like a real touchy feely person, especially with friends. Like it's just like, oh, what's up stuff. I'm not all touchy
yeah.
feely and shit. But as far as receiving, yeah, I would say words of affirmation and quality time are the top two, but they're all important. Gifts are the last.
I
Now
think
how I
acts of service, I think, are, like, important to you too.
sure.
Like, little
Yeah.
things just because
Words of affirmation and acts of service too, but I think acts of service are more important to me, like in how I show love. Like acts of service is
100%.
the number one way how I show love for sure. Acts of service because I'm not a super talkative person. Like there's days where I come home and she'll be like, "Oh, why are you so quiet, babe? What's wrong?" And it's just like, first off, I literally I talk to people all day at work. Like I just sometimes I'll be
That's how I
just
feel.
quiet. So like I show my affection a lot more than I speak it. But
Mhm,
as far as me showing love, it's definitely acts of service, a little bit of gifts, but quality time.
mhm,
Acts of service is number one though. That's just like in my DNA. I'm just built for that.
mhm. I think that the trouble within relationships nowadays is, like, people don't understand, you have to love people in their love languages, right?
Hmm.
And you have to really understand what their love language is and how they receive love. So you could be doing for instance, like if someone doesn't like to be touched and your love language is physical touch and you're touching and touching and touching them and they're like, "Oh my god," like not that they don't like you, not that they don't want to be with you, not that they don't like being around you. Sometimes they just don't want to be touched. So that's
Right.
the hard part of like,
But that's kind of strange for me. Like when you're in a relationship, like of course there's a fine line to where it's like, okay, I'm playing the game. You don't have to be all over me. Like the kids do it all the time, where the kids just at all times want to be on top of you. It's just like, could you just back up for a second? Like sit here, not on me, right next to me.
yeah.
But like, yeah, obviously there's a fine line, but yeah, it's kind of weird. Like when you don't want to be touched at all, or like not much at
Yeah.
all, because you're not a touchy feely person. It's like it almost is like indicative of like something that happened to you or something to me, like something you've experienced where you don't like being touched or it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. There are people like that though. Like, and I have friends who like, for instance, one of my friends, her mom will be like, you don't know this friend, but her mom will like try to love on her, be like, "Come over here and like sit on the couch with me and lay with me or something," you know? And she's like, "No, don't touch me. Why are you touching me? Like, why are you being like that? That's so weird. Stop doing that." And I always get on to her because I'm like, love your mom while your mom's here. Like, you're lucky that you have a mom who wants
For
to
sure.
touch you and lay with you or, talk to you about your day. Like, why are you being a little brat? Stop. Like,
Right.
I
That's
don't like
weird.
that because, like, I don't know. But I have friends like that. Like, even one of my childhood best friends, I remember every time her mom would try to like hug her, like kiss her, like tell her she loved her, she would always be like, "Ew, stop, get away from me." Like all
Yeah,
the
that's
time.
weird.
And I never understood that. Like, I don't know why she was ever like that. It still doesn't make sense to me, but I didn't really have like super touchy parents either, but like my parents were like big on like hugs, I guess. Like they would always like want a hug or like my dad will randomly come home and be like, "Give me a hug," and like he'll want to hug me or like my mom.
Yeah, like same
So,
here. That's how my experience was. It wasn't like super touchy feely, but like I grew up in the house with two boys. I would imagine it's a little different with girls, but it just depends on on the parents really. Like sometimes with me, like in the parenting, I'm not like super like touchy feely with the kids myself, or like,
mhm.
and sometimes I feel bad, but it's just like it's an adjustment for me, especially like having the newborn baby girl now. It's an adjustment because I didn't grow up like that. It was like
Mhm.
very like, I don't know, very independent at a very young age. Wasn't coddled, or it just wasn't super touchy feely. It was expressive, but not very. It wasn't always like we was like, "Oh, I love you so much," and yada
Mhm.
yada. It was like hugs in the morning and good nights and all that, but never too like too emotional.
Yeah, I think my house we definitely all say I love you when we get off the phone. We
Yeah, for sure.
definitely have always been like that. It's always like before we go to bed. Like I remember when I was little, me and my brother would like wait for my dad to go to bed. And like we had a big house like when we were little. Like we grew up in like a super big house and we would listen to our parents' footsteps and like so we would hear our dad's footsteps go into the bedroom and my parents' room was like all the way on the other side of the house from the kitchen and our rooms were above. So we would hear our dad's footsteps and as soon as he would close the door, me and my brother would come down the stairs and hang out with my mom all night. Like I don't know why we would do that, but then like it was always like, "Good night, love you, da da da." Like, I think it's important for kids to have a safe space and a safe parent that they can like come to and talk to. So
For
even
sure.
with the boys, like if you're not super touchy feely, like maybe every night. Well, I'm pretty sure when you put them to bed, like you tell them
Oh
good
yeah,
night, love you, and all that.
always, always. Like I definitely express to them, how I feel and tell them love them and all that and whatnot. But see, like I think that the childhood ties in with the love languages. One thing
Mhm.
that I loved about the book, like off the rip, because it pertained to me. Obviously, my girl is she speaks Spanish, so she's from
Mhm.
Ecuador, so her primary language is Spanish, and literally the book was like, learning your partner's love language is literally as serious as learning a second language. It's literally
Mhm.
like learning another language and communicating it, because their like that's their natural language. That's what that resonates with them the most, the best,
Mhm.
most effective. So like it really, when you looked at it that way, it was like, damn, it really is important. So like if you're expressing your feelings or your affection in a certain way that doesn't necessarily resonate or hit home with your partner, it's like it's pointless. It's like you're
Mhm.
shooting your shot and continuously
Yeah.
missing. Like, damn, you see all this effort I'm putting in, and you don't even like it doesn't hold much weight with them because it's not the love language.
Mhm. Yeah, like they don't care. Like not that they don't care, but it's just like okay, like that's cool. Like so it's important to definitely love people in their love language. I really think, yeah, I definitely 100% think that it all goes based off of childhood. Like, as crazy as that sounds when you get older, you realize how much your childhood like shaped you into the person that you are. Like,
For
I always
sure.
tell my friends and stuff, like, always tell your kids that you're proud of them and like show up for them
Yeah. And
because, like,
encourage them.
yeah, like my mom, I remember like my mom showed up for me for everything, no matter what. She was always there. And my dad like always like forced me to play sports, right? Like, it was always like, "You have to play this sport. You have to be in a sport." And it was like, "Okay," but then, like, he would come to, like, 1 game a season, and my mom
Mhm.
would be at every single game. And then
Yeah.
it was never like, "Oh, good job." It was always like, "You coulda did this better. You coulda done that better." So, I think now, not that, like, but my dad, I think he didn't really know how to be,
Right.
like, soft, you know? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was
innocent.
all still out of good intentions, like, it's like
Mhm. Right.
pushing you to the next level, wants you to
Right.
be better, get better.
Yeah. So, like, I
But
think
sometimes you just need that pat on the back, that compliment, like, just to
mhm.
you still wanna know that your parents are proud of you regardless,
Yeah,
or your
like
significant other is happy with you and content and all that, like, that
uh-huh.
affirmation is important. Literally, you like to know that all your effort is not going unnoticed.
Yes. So, because of that, because of the lack of that, I am, like, an extreme people pleaser, right? So, like, people pleaser, like, I never wanna say no, I wanna be the best at every single thing that I do, like,
Yeah,
if there's a goal, I wanna hit it twice and then some, like, right?
for sure.
So and then when you are good at something and you're the best, essentially, because, like, literally in certain situations, like, there's a number bracket and you're literally the best. People don't ever wanna tell you you're the best. They're like, "Oh, you're good," because you are the best, you know? So it's like, people don't wanna ever be like, "Oh, good job, like, that's good." They're just like, "Oh, she knows she's the best," or, "He knows
It's
he's the
it's
best."
literally so hard for people to, like, to get to compliment others, like, without feeling like they're gassing them up these days, like,
Yeah.
it's like, and then some people don't know how to take a compliment when they get one. It's funny, like,
Mhm.
literally how you'll, like, reserve yourself from telling somebody, like, what you really think because you don't want it to blow their head up, or you
Yeah.
don't wanna seem like you dick riding or anything like that, like, it's
Right.
crazy.
It's fu
Ego.
it's funny because, like, I always make it a point when I notice someone or I'm proud of them, I always make it a point to tell them, like, no matter what, and that's why people from, like, the city that we live in or used to live in, um, every time, like, people from our hometown will be like, "I'm proud of you," or like, "Congratulations," or like, "I see what you're doing." I truly, from the bottom of my heart, am so thankful, and that shit never gets to me, never goes up and, like, I'm never like, "Oh, yeah, I'm the best." Like, that's not my mentality, like, so when people tell me that they're proud of me, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate everything they say to me. Like, when people are like, stop me, like, "I wanna tell like, I'm proud of your lashes, I'm proud of you on TikTok, like, I'm proud of you graduating hair school." Like, when people say stuff like that to me, that doesn't just go one ear and out the other.
For sure, like, people don't even realize, like, that's one thing I realized just randomly, like, you'll wake up in the morning and go to the gas station and get a coffee, and, like, literally one person's attitude towards you and how they speak to you and address you, like, they can be so friendly and kind, and it just gives you, like, a good vibe. It
Mhm,
literally is like passing off good energy. One person can literally change your whole day from the
mhm.
jump just by, being friendly, encouraging, a genuine person. Like, whenever you feel that good energy, it can change and shape your whole outlook.
Right, so if you think someone has nice shoes on or like, "Hey, bro, I like your shoes," like, or you think a girl's makeup looks pretty or her hair looks pretty, like, why aren't you telling people that? Why aren't you gassing people up? Like, I remember, a girl from our town, like, she had, like, opened a business, and I remember messaging her and saying, like, "I'm so proud of you, I see everything that you're doing, um, keep going, like, I'm so proud," and I just remember she left me on red, and I was like,
That's crazy. It's
"Okay,"
like that. And it's
you
reasons
know?
like that where you, like, you start to hold that in because some people take it like it's like, damn, you could at
They
least
take
say
it like,
thanks.
"Of course, duh, why wouldn't you be proud of me?" You know what I mean? Like, and I
Right.
will never, as long as I live under any circumstance, ever be like that, like, um it's, like, weird to me sometimes when, like, people, will, like, notice me in public or, like, say something to me. I'm just like, I don't know how to act in that situation, you know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
like I
because
don't want you to talk to me, but it's like,
it's just
I'm
kind of
normal,
strange.
you
Right.
know? So it's like, "Oh my god, why are you yelling? Like, why are you screaming? Why are you wanting to take a picture with me?" Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I know you even, like, when you're on my lives and people are like, "Oh my god, I'm your biggest fan," or like, "You get me through life," and I know to you, you're like, "What?" Like, it's KG, you know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy to see. It's cool. It's awesome, but you have to stay humble like that. Like so many people like
100%.
lose that part of them. Like it's
I don't
nuts.
think there will ever be a time where I feel as though I'm too good, or like if someone tells me they're proud of me, like even random people on Snapchat will like send me a message and be like, "I'm proud of you," da, 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 and that never ever goes unnoticed by me. Like that never goes over my head. That's never like a, "Oh, of course you are," or just swipe over, read, and done. Like I
Right.
truly, genuinely appreciate every single like good vibe, good message, positive energy that comes my way. So I don't even know how we just spun from all of what we were just talking about, but I think that telling your children that you're proud of them. So if you're listening to this podcast right now and you have kids, show up to their games and tell them that you're proud of them, and let your kids, this is the biggest thing, let your kids like have an open space to talk to you, because one thing I will say about my parents is like I never had to lie, right? Like
Yeah.
once I got to a certain point in life, like I would say probably like 8th grade, it was an open book. Like, I have nothing, I'm not gonna lie to you. I never had to, like, say I was going somewhere and I was really going here. Like, my mom always 110% knew where I was. So, create a safe
Yeah.
place for your kids to be able to speak to you,
I
and,
feel like
yeah.
we're getting way off from the love language topic, but this all like factors into your love language. So I guess that's why we're getting into like the whole parenting thing and like childhood. But I feel like parents in that situation, like they're sometimes like caught up between like, can I, like they don't always want it to be an open book. They want you to be able to come tell them everything, but they've also wanted to make sure that you know that they don't condone certain behavior.
Mhm.
So
100%.
when it's like, oh, it's just like a perfect example is there were some parents who was like, well, we know you're going to drink. Please just you're not driving. Let me know where you're at and be safe. Don't leave that house. We know you're going to do
Mhm.
it anyways. Whereas there's other parents like, nope, you're not going anywhere. Curfew's this time. You need to stay here. You need to be here at this so and so time. Like literally on top of everything. And it always seemed to be those kids who like went a little bit crazier.
Who
Obviously,
were the worst? Hands down,
they're
the worst
they're
kids,
getting into
hands
more
down.
situations because they are going to do it anyway. So it's like you have to find balance. Like
Yep,
obviously, you have to let it be known that like you don't want certain things for your kids and children, and let them know why your intentions. But a lot of times they're going to do it regardless at that age, and you have to learn
literally.
tough lessons.
Think about it. They're in high school. They're gonna do whatever they want regardless, and if you're not gonna let them do it, they're gonna figure out a way to do it regardless. And I had some friends like that in high school whose parents were super strict, and I'm telling you, they created the best liar, manipulator I've ever seen in my entire life. We would be sitting there, and she would be on the phone with them, and she'd be like, "Yeah, we're at Waffle House," and I'd be looking around the party like, "What? We're where? Like, huh?" And I would like start thinking like, "Wait, are we there?" Like, because she was so convincing. Because like when you don't have an open space for your I'm talking like there was alarms on doors, there was alarms on windows. She had Saran wrap around her window. Her parents checked it every single morning because she would sneak out because
That's crazy.
she was always grounded.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, sometimes it be like that.
you
You just
know?
have to find balance.
So, I'm thankful I didn't have those. You didn't really either have like super
No,
strict parents. Like, I mean, let's be totally honest and transparent and real here. We held it down for our high school's parties, okay? The two of
oh
us,
yeah,
bangers. The two of us were the CEOs of the high school parties, other than one other person, which is our other friend. He threw
oh
bangers
yes.
too. But without the 3 of us, we
We
would have
had
had
some
the
wild times.
boringest high school careers.
For sure. I mean, everything. I mean, I'm sure other stuff was going on low key, but like ours was like we brought a whole bunch of people together just through throwing like the little parties and events. That
Mhm.
good
Bangers.
days, fun days. Feel bad
Bangers,
for it
y'all.
sometimes. Like just did way too much, but
Yeah, my
hey,
party was in the front page of our newspaper, like, literally titled "Teen Throws Party While Parents Are Away." Like,
mm-mm-mm.
it was a banger, it was a great time. So, out of all that, make sure that you tell your kids that you love them and that you're proud of them and that you make them have a safe space to be able to come to. I think that's really important. Now, I'm not a parent, so obviously I'm speaking from a biased opinion, I suppose, but I just know as a kid how important that was. So,
For sure. Literally, how you're raised makes all the difference in the person you become.
mhm.
And
Like, would
and
you
also on the flip side, you can do everything that you think is right and with good intentions to help your child, and your child still turn out to be polar opposite of what you wanted. But
Mhm,
hey, everybody's their own person. Once they get to a certain age, you have to let them be what it's going to be.
100%. Um, okay, so another thing that I wanted to touch on because I heard this the other day and it was kind of like, I want to speak to Zach about that. So, why is it that men, or should I say boys, I'm not sure which one, um, ha- have this thought in their head that like, okay, I'm not where I need to be like financially or really financially, I think is mostly or like mentally or like they're not ready, they're not in the right mindset to be in a relationship. Like, what is that? Like, and why is there a stigma that you can't build with a partner? Like, you can't build with a person and become a better person, if that makes sense. Like, not that that's your
Mm,
significant other's job to make you a better person, but like, I just think, like, I used to say to my ex all the time, like, bro, if you just get it together and you focus on just the two of us, your life will elevate in 30 days. Like, immensely, because like you're juggling 10 different females, telling all these females the same thing, like, oh, I'm just not ready for a relationship, not ready to settle down. But you have 10 females blowing up your phone every day with attitudes because you didn't talk to her, you didn't call her back, you didn't text her back, you didn't answer the FaceTime. Like, what? What? Like, I just don't understand why you want 1,000 females when you can just have one. And you
ooh,
use
this
the
is.
excuse as you're not ready. Why is that? Can you please elaborate? I know you're not an F boy, so it might be a little difficult for you to be able to relate, but
I
try
mean,
to
I can relate.
make it make
Obviously,
sense to us.
there was definitely a stretch where I was like, not really trying to be in a relationship. Just never really was blaming it on I'm not ready. But first off, it's not only always guys that do that, but since you're acting from the female perspective, I would say, yeah, it's a bullshit excuse. Literally, it doesn't matter. The financial stuff and all of those things don't matter when you're already in a relationship with that person.
Mhm.
They've already accepted what you have financially and what you got going for you, whether you have a house, whether you live with your parents, whatever the situation is, they've accepted it. Usually it's dudes aren't trying to be tied down. They want to play the field. They want to have the options. Basically,
Yeah.
they want the benefits of you without having to
Mhm.
commit and be tied down. So it's I can deal with you and her over there because I especially my only thing is like by all means do that if you want to do it, but just be straightforward off the
Mhm.
rip. Like not really looking for a relationship. Don't see it going there. And by all means, now you've been honest, so now you can do exactly what you want.
But, like,
But
at any point, are they ever looking for a relationship? Like, when are they ever, like, really looking for a relationship? You know what I mean? Like, no guy when are you ever looking for a relationship? I feel like when a girl comes to you with the same game as you, that's when you wanna settle down. 9 times out of 10, you don't wanna settle down with the good girls, like, 'cause some ex has been like, I passed up some amazing women, like, for what?
you have got to be kidding me. You know how many girls like the bad boy?
Oh,
Get
100%.
out of here. That's more
100%.
of a female thing. Like I think when the right person comes along, a dude will settle down. I think age factors into it a lot, but that age is different for some people. There's some people, some of our peers that got right out of high school, went to college and got married, like the traditional
Mhm.
23, 24-year-old got married, makes a family, seems to be good from the outside looking in. There's some people who, and they don't want to get married in their 20s. They don't want to settle down. They want to travel. They want to do all these things. That's like really is where life is today. People back in the day, like I was looking at this video saying like the average age of marriage in like the 18th century, the 19th, and now like where we're at now, like it's increased from like 18 years old to like 27, 28 now,
Oh,
something
for
like that,
sure.
like later. So it's like I think the biggest problem is most of the time when dudes say that they're not trying to settle down in this moment. They are
Right.
having fun. They're doing what they want to do. They don't want to deal with the restrictions and the controls that come with the whole relationship thing.
But
But
what I mean when I say that, hold on, I just wanna clear this up. When I say they're not gonna wanna settle down until they meet someone who matches their energy. Therefore, yes, you said the girls like the bad boys, right? The bad boys
Mhm.
don't like the good girls is what I'm saying. So when you meet a girl that matches your energy, she's like, "Bet, you wanna be on bullshit? Imma be on bullshit too." That makes the guy be like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 what's happening?" Like, not all the
Um,
time, but, like, anytime I've seen, because think about all the girls who are in relationships and settle down and come on, you know what I'm saying, like, without having to say it, they out here. They out here, they out here. And them girls be wifed up.
wait,
And you
wait,
be
wait.
like,
You
"How
mean
in the
like
world out here? Out
the
here."
dudes be out here or the
No,
females?
the females be out here and they be wifed up by the dudes. Like, how are you wifed up and you're doing that? Like, and
Mhm.
then there's females who are like the good girls, but I guess it goes into play like the guys, the bad boys want a bad girl. They don't want a good girl.
Not always, but I mean, I think it all ties into the male ego. The dude, he's playing this game and he can usually run his game and he gets that off on the good girls and he has a lot more power and control with the good girls.
Mhm.
So I'd actually say that that might be actually a reason why it's not necessarily true that they don't want the good girl. They can get that stuff off with the good girl way easier than a bad girl. What's intriguing about the bad girl that they meet though is she's coming with similar energy, and
Mhm.
so basically she knows the game. She knows the game that he's running. So it's more of a challenge at the end of the day.
Right, it's a
Like
chase because the good girl is
there's
down for you.
something about the chase, and that's for everybody though. There's something about the chase. Like think about when you're initially dating somebody, and then the excitement, the feelings, the butterflies, all that stuff that you're having at first, and then when it becomes the norm, everything becomes the norm after some time. So like you still like part of you's like, man, you remember how it was at first. Things naturally get routine and boring over time. That's why you have to keep in relationships, keep making efforts to keep things exciting. But the
Mhm.
a man always loves a chase. That's the intriguing part. Even if he don't want to really be with you like that, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm still gonna get her though. Let me holler at her. See, she's a
And
little hard to crack, but I'm gonna keep on swinging. And
and
once you swing and connect,
that kinda
it's an
goes back
accomplishment.
to, like, our last week's episode when we were saying, like, "Why do we have to pretend like we don't like you? Why do we have to, do the chase? Why do we have to wait 30 minutes to text back? Like, why is it always games? Why can't it just be like, this is what it is?"
Was that in the last?
So
Was that in the last pod, or
mhm.
was that in the one we did end up posting? I don't know, but either way, yeah, that
No, it
touches on
was
that. Like,
definitely in last spot, I think.
it's everything is like strategic now. Like it's literally strategy.
And it sucks
Like,
because why? Why does it have to be that complicated, you know?
yeah, because there's always like extra motives now. There's
Right.
occasionally you'll meet a person who's not thinking about that. Like I'm not thinking about should I text her right back, or I'm not thinking about what he will think if I text him right back. Like, can we just be normal people and communicate with it? That takes the game out of it. So it's like, I
Right.
don't know. It's all a game. Like it's literally all a game.
Ugh, I
Like how people will
literally
intentionally just do things to trigger you.
yeah, I literally hate this generation. You know what? Next podcast, we should speak about triggers. We should touch on triggers. What are your triggers? What are our triggers? Okay, so if you have any questions and emails that you would like to send us in regards to triggers, please send them to us or anything you want us advice on. Like, so this is your trigger, your boyfriend did this. What would we think or what would we do? What's our advice on it? Please email us because next podcast episode, we definitely need to speak on triggers because
Yeah, go
that's a
heavily on the
good,
triggers.
yeah, that's a very good, that's a very good podcast topic. But we do have emails.
Yeah.
So, would you like to read those? Because timeout is about to get real.
All right. So the first email that we got is let's see, let me pull it up. My bad. The
You are
first one
good.
is okay, somebody asked us, did you guys ever have feelings for each other? I know you said you guys always kept it at a friend level, but has there ever been feelings there? What is your answer to that, Kalu?
I was gonna say, do you want to answer this first? Um,
Go for it.
no. Okay, I don't want to say that. So basically, no. The way we met was through an individual that ZB was talking to essentially, not like met, like we went to high school together. So like the way we got close was through another person, right? Whom I happen to be cool with. So that's how we ended up spending like a lot of time together. And then like we all just kind of were cool, so in high school. So with me being the person that I am, I would never that was never a thing. It was like we were friends. Like, I don't know. I don't like to say that we're like siblings, but like that's kind of how it is. Like I don't look at you like that cuz I just
Right.
can't see you by anything other than like my best friend. So like I look at you as if I look at my brother like, you know? I don't know if that makes sense.
It's definitely more like a sibling relationship than just friends. Like at this point,
Mhm.
we're over 10 years in, been friends. It's never been like that because again, we did basically meet through somebody who I was talking to at the time. And then from there we all were kind of like the gang and we hit it off and it's like it's just never been that. It took a while. We used to walk through the hallways in school and literally not speak to each other. I
I
mean, we
know.
crossed paths a couple times, but we didn't really become good friends until after I was out and you were a senior, I think.
Mhm.
But it's always been best friends, really, literally, and that's why our friendship is great. That's why we have great conversations because there's never been any ulterior motives. There's never been
Mhm.
anything else. We've never ever some friends cross that line and it blurs the line. I know
Mhm.
lots of people who were best friends and then, it crosses that line and when it doesn't work out,
It ruined your
friendship
friendship.
gone,
Yeah.
ruined. But yeah, it's never been that.
No. It's
Literally.
always
And
been
we're
like
we're both just not each other's type. I would be a cornball in your eyes. So
shut
it's
up. Yeah, like, if you look at the girls that he's dated, they look nothing like me, and if you look at the guys that I've dated, they look nothing like him. Like, and that's
and
not to
act
say that
nothing like.
he's yeah, like, that's not to say that he's not a great guy. It's just like, I don't know, it's really never been that. It's never people say that to us all the time though, like, but
And
no.
then the same thing with you and my man Zell, which is your other
Mhm.
one of your other many best friends, but
Here
one of
he
your
goes.
closer best friends. Anywho, so I hope that answers the question. We touch on that pretty often, and we talked about it in the first pod. Basically, like it's always just been friends, it's never more.
Yes, and
Um,
then there's another email as well?
so the next question, which is a really good one,
Okay.
um, what is your guys' perspective on dating someone with kids? Since one of you has kids and one doesn't. For ZB, is it a requirement to date someone with kids already? For KG, would you prefer to not date anyone since you don't have any kids yet?
Date anyone
So
with kids, is that
yeah,
is
anyone with kids. Sorry.
you're fine. You can answer first since I already did.
Um, well, for me, before I had kids, I definitely was not dating anybody with kids. That's just me. That's just being honest. Like it never was like, oh, she has a kid, I'm not dating her. But I just didn't really. First off, at that point, I was 4 or 5 years younger, just about. So it's like I wasn't really crossing paths with too many people who had children at that time who I was trying to pursue. So I wasn't dating anybody who already had kids because I'm like, I'm not trying to do the stepdad thing and all that. I don't have kids. I don't know what that's like. Now, after having children, like when I was single and I had my boys, I was dating and I dated quite a few girls who didn't have kids and it just it never worked out. I guess I could really never take them seriously because I found myself always having to explain to them
Mhm.
like my kids are always going to come first. I don't have time as much as you want to kick it. I can't. I have my boys tonight. I can't do anything. Sorry, I'm not introducing them to nobody unless it's serious.
Yeah.
So it never really worked out without that. Then I started dating my girl now who had kids, and they just naturally understand. And she was at first so against dating somebody who had kids, and I was trying to tell her like, well, in my experience, it's better to date somebody who has kids as well because we're both on the same page. You both
Mhm.
understand that each other's children are always going to come first. You're not going to be salty because you have to cancel a date because I have my kid. I can't. It's
Yeah.
just it is what it is. You understand, but it's a lot different of a mindset not having kids and thinking about dating somebody with kids. And I'm interested in your answer now because you're 4 years older than me. We're in a different place now than what I was when I was kidless and looking at that same situation.
Yeah, than when you were. I'm not 4 years
Right.
older than him now, though. We are the same age.
Yeah, yeah, we're the
But
same age, but we're in a different time.
yes. Okay, so how I stand with it, in this generation, it's so hard to find a man that does not have kids. So let's start there. I'm definitely not against it by any means, dating someone with a kid. Now, if if I had to pick, if I could pick, I would most definitely want to be with someone, marry someone, and have my kid, my first child, with someone who's never had a child. If I could pick, right? But if you bring everything to the table that I need and I require or I find necessary or desire, and you check every box for me and you have a kid, that's not gonna make me not want to be with you. Like, that's not a deal breaker for me. Now, is it a preference? Yes, but is it something I'm gonna hold over your head? Absolutely not. So, I've dated many people with kids, and I also think it's more or less like, what kind of a parent are you? You know, are you a good parent? Are you
Hmm.
a solid parent? Are you a consistent parent? Like, and really, it's not the kids, it's the baby moms. 9 times out of 10, like, that's the issue. Like, I've never personally dealt with someone who has a crazy baby mom. Thankfully, all the people that I've dealt with have, like, very good co-parenting relationships, or their baby moms just don't even bother them for real. So,
Right.
I think that's the stigma behind it, is, like, the crazy baby moms who are, like, slashing tires and busting out windows and, doing wild stuff.
Yeah.
Not that that's every situation, but I think that's the stigma that, like, scares people away from dating people who have kids. But if you're an active parent and you're a good parent and, like, you do everything that I need you to do, I'm not against it. Like, but if I could pick, obviously, that would be my preference, to have my first child with someone
Right.
who's never experienced that before and never had a child for themselves. But would that disqualify someone? No. Am I open to it? 100%. I'm not one of those girls that's like, I would never date a guy with kids. I really don't care. Like, if you fit me, then you fit me. It is what it is.
Right.
Like, so to me, it's not a
Dating
deal breaker.
somebody dating with somebody with kids literally gives you a whole nother list of things that you look for and you pay attention to now, like more than just the obvious of what it brings. Like now you're really paying attention to, okay, so what kind of dad are you? What kind of parent are you? How often do you have your kids? Um, what's the situation like with their mom? Like, what is there
Mhm.
baby mama drama or not? Is it cool? How do you handle her?
Mhm.
So it's like you're not only looking at how he handles his kids, but how he handles her and how they deal with each other too, because all of that's important and definitely affects you. So,
Right.
I mean, I think it's one of those things to where it's like, I never thought I'd be where I'm at now. I had my two boys, Lulu had Kami, and it's like
Mhm.
I never saw this happening, but like personally, once you have kids, it changes. But it's like it's good. It's not a deal breaker because you never know who you might meet
Mhm.
that could be the perfect ideal person. They just have a child,
Mhm.
and you'll end up loving that child too. But on the same end, it's like I couldn't imagine having my first child with somebody who's already experienced that. I'm
Yeah.
the type of person that like we're going through it and it's like, well, you've already experienced this. I never have. So I feel like the excitement
Mhm.
level is still different, even though a child is always exciting
Mhm.
when you're welcoming it, but it's like it's still different because like, well, you've been through this with someone else and
Mhm.
I've never experienced it yet. So like it's definitely nice for that first one to be together with
Yeah.
another person who's first as well.
Yeah. That's
Tough
definitely
situations.
Yeah, that's definitely how I feel about it. I also think, like, when you were saying before, like, when you were dating, and it was hard for you to find someone who understood. I think that was because you and your children's mother have a very good co-parenting relationship, and I think, like, at the time, I remember you guys were, like, going to Christmas lights with the boys, pumpkin patches, because the boys were little, like, you're
Right.
doing these things, like, for the boys to see both of their parents together, having a good time, enjoying each other's, like, company, but you're not
For
together, but
sure.
it's still, like, so I think that was the issue with the girls that you were dating, was like, "Oh, wait, you're going to do what? You're doing what? With who?" Like, and they didn't understand the concept of, like, you 2 just have a good like, I would say that you and your children's mother have a wonderful, it's not as close now as it was, but still a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, a very good, non-toxic, great communication relationship. Obviously, there's been ups and downs, but, like, oh my god, the good outweighs the bad by a million, I feel
Oh
like.
yeah, I'm definitely grateful for that situation. Like we're
Both of you, though.
cool. Yeah, no, like
Yeah,
it
because
could
'cause you're
be
an
there's
amazing
no
dad, like, and she's an amazing mom, like, it's you're both extremely lucky, and I tell you all the time, I don't really tell her much, but, if you're listening to this, you go, girl, you the bomb. Like, I
yeah,
really yeah.
I've seen so many situations that are so ugly, and it's like obviously there's always ups and downs, but now that once you get everything else, all the bullshit out of the way, the things that don't matter, and you're just focusing on the kids and nothing else,
Mhm,
it's there's no confrontation. We're on the same page. We're a team, regardless. We're always going to be linked together one way or another because we're
mhm,
raising these kids. So it's definitely a great situation. I'm grateful for that because some people have it it's horrible for some people, and it doesn't have to be. Anybody who's
mhm,
co-parenting, it does not have to be that bad. Now,
mhm,
sometimes it's one person who's making it more difficult than the other, but if you
mhm.
just put all of your feelings and grudges aside and make it about the kids, it can really work. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be that complicated.
Literally. And even your girlfriend now, like she's an amazing mother as well. And she's like, I see her care for the boys and her kids and your guys' child together. And it's just, you're really blessed for both of them, honestly. Like, and I think,
For
I know you
sure.
know that. Like, I know
Oh
you're
yeah.
not ungrateful for that. Or like, it's just beautiful to see no bitter baby mama, no bitter baby daddy. Like, you guys just have like, a wonderful co-parenting relationship and that's something that I've always looked up to even as someone with no kids, like, I just think it's beautiful. I'm always like, "Look at them, like, they really kill this shit, like, y'all really do a great
Well,
job."
thank you. That's nice to hear.
Of
And it's
course.
true. Like it's like now, of course, you can't control everybody's actions, but I feel like I've set the tone for this. I feel like what I do, I've tried to set the tone. We've all played a part in setting the tone, but I've really worked at setting the tone for this. It's not always been great,
Mhm.
and sometimes I've made mistakes in the co-parenting situation, lack of communication. But it just
Mhm.
takes time. You just have to mend. You have to be accountable for your actions, basically. So I hold
Yes.
myself accountable for my wrong actions, and that's how we're always able to bounce back.
Yeah. But
Just got to know when you mess up and when.
it's never been bad, that's the thing. It's been, like, a little rough, but it's never been like, "No, you can't have the
No.
boys.
Oh
No,
yeah,
I'm
and
I'm keeping them from you." That's what I mean when I say, like, it's been beautiful, like, yeah, there's, like, tiny bumps, like speed bumps, little speed
yeah, they're
bumps, you know what
small.
I
They're
mean?
always
Like, it's
small
never been
problems.
like, "No,
Whereas
fight me,"
some
like
people, some people are out here literally going through it like bitter significant other or bitter ex. It's like, no, you're not seeing the kids. Like for all of you parents, and it's usually the moms, not all moms, please don't feel triggered, but for any mothers or fathers, but more so mothers, anybody who is keeping your children from their other parent because you're bitter and they're
Mhm,
actually trying to make an effort, that's foul. And you need to
mhm,
stop and you need to be
yeah,
better and do better because that's some of the worst stuff you can do to a kid. And then on the
mhm,
flip side of that, all you parents who are not involved and present in your child's life, please step it up
mhm.
or
I feel
somebody
like
else will.
that is an entire another podcast segment.
Oh
That
yeah,
right
we can
there
really
is
get into
like
that.
Um, but I do wanna touch next week on triggers, absolutely. So like I said previously, if you have any, triggers that you wanna tell us about that are yours, or tell us about, like, something that you were triggered by your significant other that they know is a trigger for you, advice, any type of questions, really anything goes. If you wanna be on our email segment, we will read your email. If you would like for us to say your name, we can, and if you would not like for us to, we will just not. So if you just
Yeah.
send your
If you
email,
if
we're
you
not
want us to
gonna
shout you out, say, hey, it's okay to say my name, whatever. If you want that up to us, it doesn't really matter, but we're going to try to address all the emails we get. Obviously, at some point, if it starts getting like too repetitive, there's some things that won't be addressed. But everybody's input is great, and then all the questions help us give us topics to talk about.
yeah,
Like that was a really really good one.
yeah.
RT.
Yes.
That was a good question.
So if you and she's one of my loyal day ones. I remember
Mhm.
she was helping me pick out lash names for my lash company, like, back in the G, so you a
Like
real
I
one.
just love to see it like when people actually are here to engage, just like when we go on live and like there's those few people who are really there and engaging and it's just like it gets
Mhm.
interesting. It
100%.
really does. Like it makes it so much more enjoyable. But
Right, and we definitely appreciate y'all. We appreciate all the love. We appreciate everyone tuning in, everyone subscribing. If you have not already, make sure that you press that plus sign and subscribe so you get notified every time we post episodes. You can follow me on TikTok at Kalu__. Our podcast TikTok is Time Out Let's Get Real. And what is your handles?
just catch me on TikTok at it's your boy ZB.
Alrighty, and with that being said, we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Deuce.